I get on TikTok and the first thing I see is a video by She Who Shall Not Be Named. And it's so interesting because her position is I'm going to get back on, and when I come back, I'm going to have fire. I guess that means the receipts. But this is not the first time that she's made such a claim. And just because I was curious to see if, where people are on this, when I clicked on it, people are like, oh my gosh, her, she who shall not be named. We need her. She's the only one. And I'm like, and that's the way she talks. I'm the only one. Spoken like a true cult leader. And that's realty. Cult leaders usually tell their cult members, I'm the only one, right? And people are just sitting back and they're not realizing that she is the master at this moment, at least in what she's doing, that she's the master of deception, the master of division. And she's caused you to complete Charlie, who that man? Right? At this point, his whole movement, she's burnt it down to the ground. Forget the revival that was happening shortly after him. Now it's all about her and her conspiracy theories. And this somehow is okay with you. You don't see what she's positioning herself for? It concerns me greatly because there's a great divide in MAGA. There's a great divide in the conservative party. You think that's just happenstance? And then if she's sitting here talking about, I have receipts because I know for a fact that he was betrayed. I believe he was by her. I believe that she knows a lot more than what she's saying in a bad way. I do believe that. I really do. But I can't prove that. Just like she can't prove half the stuff that she's saying. But you're going to believe her because you've been, But y'all forget that she's part of the elite by marriage. That she could sit here and spin your wheels all day long. It's no skin off of her. But it is for you. Because this is going to inflect or this is going to influence how you begin to vote. What you begin to believe. What you begin to champion for. And the powers that be that understands the power of influencers know that, okay, well, we just have to direct our mouth here and you're going to go ahead and go there. Right, wrong, and even to your own demise. That's true, sadly. And my question is, what are you doing about it? Yeah, but I like her. Yeah, I like a lot of stuff that is not good for me, but I had to give it up. And I think that you guys need to really, really, if nothing else, you need to reconsider your source. Literally. One person I would strongly recommend that you give an ear to is April Chapman. April Chapman, she was part of, I think she was part of PragerU. She was part of those same circles of She Who Shall Not Be Named. But she's an actual Christian, by the way. And she also was with She Who Shall Not Be Named when she was back in the day, I think at the early grassroots of Black Set. Somewhere around that time, she worked with She Who Shall Not Be Named. And she can give you a personal perspective. But aside from that, she gives receipts on the type of personality this person is. And so you need to check her out since you're giving, because listen, if you're giving an ear to someone, what you're saying is, I'm allowing you to influence my thoughts. I'm allowing you to influence my behaviors. I'm allowing you to influence my actions. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's true. That's why, hence, influencers. And while you are propping her up to being like this saint, have y'all ever stopped to wonder why Miss Christian is not talking about what's happening in Nigeria? Why? This is bigger than that because that, what she's talking about, has already been done. And you can go back to that after you deal with the emergency, right? And so has she talked about that? Has she talked about what's happening in the UK? Maybe it wouldn't be beneficial for her and the people that handle her. Because if you think that she's by herself in this, then yeah. I'm just asking you to think, because is it possible? Listen. As a woman of faith, as a born-again believer, Christian, child of God, follower of Christ, based upon his holy word, as a follower of Christ, if I start saying anything absent of We all got to band together because the whole world is about to be lit on, right? Witches and warlocks usually are not going to agree with me coming from the Word of God, point blank and period. There would be no commonality, there would be no agreement there because the value system is stark different. And I know that we have some weird syncretic types of movements happening, but I'm talking about real witchcraft and I'm talking about real Christianity. Let's just keep that clear. The reason why I bring that up is because why is it that jihadists are grateful for her? Why are they saying that? Because just in case you forgot, while you're worshiping at her cauldron, while you're worshiping there, just in case you forgot, the jihadists are not pro-America. The girl bust out with a Quran and started reading it to you. A Christian wouldn't do that. That's just like, a Christian wouldn't do that. She's showing you. She's telling Protestants, well, if you're, I told Charlie that you're too smart to be Protestant, and Protestants are still. There's one guy. I love this little guy. I really did. I really liked him. I pray for him, but sometimes I get angry, and God is dealing with me on that. But there's one guy that I followed for about the last 2 years or so. But now it's like he has become her apologist. And it's like, yeah, see, her. Before it was something else. He was always tethered to the word. Now he's tethered to her. When you see this type of influence happening, you have to understand this is not happenstance. And this is not something, her breakaway, I left this on a couple of videos ago. I believe there's a reason for this. First of all, she has to regroup. Regroup not because of the things that she hit. No, I'm talking about to refire. Yeah, because she has a job to do. I believe that she has a job to do, that she has been poised, positioned in order to occupy the space that Mr. Kirk no longer occupies, and it's a possibility she knew that would happen. I do believe that she also is being put to divide and to distract. I believe that 100%. I also believe that she's also to change to use her influence to change and alter your mindset. PsyOps 101. Yes, and I believe that it's to bring you into a side that you never thought that you would be in, but she'll gladly lead you there because now she's become your pastor. She's become your priest. She's become, by some, she's become your God. Yeah, I said it. And my hope is that you will wake up and understand nobody deserves your absolute but the Almighty Creator. She has not a heaven or hell to send you to, but God does. And if you're so getting caught up on what she says, and if she ain't there, oh my goodness, what's wrong? I hear the calls of Diana. I hear the calls of Diana, the Greek goddess. I hear the calls of Athena. I mean, what do y'all got? Oh my gosh. We are at war. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it is. And our enemy is gaining ground. And it just so happens that our enemy is praising